This is cooking CASSIUS for IFLTV'S.
Oh, you pair of pricks.
To be honest,
Come,
to be honest,
come,
you fucked that up so
I did
badly.
actually. I did.
come. Have they not got any sun cream out there?
Mate, look at that tan line.
Hey,
Look at
state
that
of
tan
it.
line. Come on.
State of it.
What about your boy before we get started here? What about your boy Nunez?
Come. You are the most deluded Anthony Cacachi fan of all time.
Yeah,
Like,
be honest,
no,
right?
no, 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 no. You can't, like, in boxing, it's got to be a level playing field, right? If one of my boxers vacated his world title, right, to avoid Sugar Nunez, and then when Sugar Nunez wins the title, he starts calling him out. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm happy to make the fight. It's an unbelievable fight, but please put some respect on Sugar Nunez's name. I mean, like,
Hitachi's point of view, to be honest, right? You weren't offering him the money you got for Wood. Wood was a more recognizable name in the
but
UK.
but but but, but mate, what's this? You weren't offering him. We were just the challenger. We were just getting 25%. The fight was mandated, right? It's not our job to make a big like all this thing now. It's like a catchy now. Oh yeah, well, make the big offer, Eddie. It's like, mate, what are you incapable of making an offer yourself? It's like you could have made the offer before. We would have come for nothing to Belfast. We were talking about coming for like a couple of $100,000 to Belfast to fight Kakachi. And
If you were
guess what?
Kikachi's
It was
promoter, though, if you were Kikachi's promoter, you would have done what he done, no?
no, no. Listen, I wouldn't. I would have done what the fighter told me to do because that's what I do. I don't tell a fighter to vacate his title. That champion gave up a lifelong dream of becoming a world champion to duck Sugar Nunez. Colm, you can't say no, but Colm, everybody else, when they vacate a title for a really fucking dangerous mandatory, it ducks. You can't have it both ways and all of a sudden say Kakachi didn't duck him. He ducked him. Now you can use the excuse of, oh, I had a couple of $100 grand more to fight Lee Wood instead. I get it. But you still know, I know all the conversations with the team. They know what this kid is. He's a monster. And in fact, when I first brought it up to them, they were like, oh, Sugar Nunez, well, no thanks. And actually, I nearly talked him into it because I like Anto. And he's got a big set of balls, don't get me wrong. But
That's
the
a
reality
fight,
is,
though, that I
no,
would
it's
take
not.
around
No, it's
saying.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Mate, I'm telling you now, Nunez batters Kakachi, right, within 6 rounds. And hopefully we'll get it made. Anto's great. I love him. Great fighter. This guy's on another level. That Rikishi was a serious operator. By the way, it was like 118, 110, really, right? But he came over to Japan. He went to Dagestan to knock out Rakimov in the 11th round when they were trying to rob him. You got to respect this kid, mate. He's a serious fighter. And by the way, as I said, I love Anto. I love the fight and I'm open to it. But we can't skirt around like if Eddie Hearn or Matchroom had a fighter that did that, we would be ridiculed. Now the reality is, guess what? Nunez is champion. And guess what? Anto is a voluntary defence for us. And we're prepared to make it. No problem. But why is it always make us an offer? Make us an offer. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you were the champion, and we've got to make you an offer. Anyway, it's a great fight. Let's get it made. But
Right.
but right now, we're buzzing.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you, mate. Ed, your head's gone all out the shot.
Is it?
Yeah. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it,
To be
mate.
fair, I've had one Sapporo,
What is
a McChicken sandwich. Sapporo is a Japanese beer. It's fantastic.
it?
A chicken McSandwich and a quarter pounder with cheese and fries and 3 spicy chicken nuggets. So
How much is a meal? That's obviously a meal, McDonald's meal in.
we just went to the bar after the fight in the hotel. They'd stopped serving food. There was me, Sugar Nunez, trainers, JC, the manager. I think there was 9 of us. And my Japanese McDonald's was 12,000 yen. That's
Which
how
is
much it cost me. About 50 quid, 60
what?
quid.
50
Yeah.
quid?
Yeah, but I got like 8 cheeseburgers,
Oh,
5 chicken sandwiches. Like I went well OTT.
mate, are you using your new advanced laptop that
No, it's not. It's just sliding off a thing. You're just on my phone. There you go. That should be better.
there we go. Um, Yeah, you came and you conquered.
Yeah, mate. Big win tonight in Japan. I mean, I wanted to make this trip because I really believe this kid is the future of Mexican boxing. He's such a good fighter. And, you know, there's been quite a bit of criticism over the last couple of weeks about fighters that aren't coming to entertain. This kid just tries to knock you out from the start to the finish. Even in the 12th round when he was well up, he actually copped a few because he was just trying to end the fight. And he's exciting and he's in a great division. Some huge fights out there. Obviously, our guy Ray Ford, that's a priority. It's a great fight. Navarrete unification, Kakachi, Oscar Valdez, like so many great fights. And he's a young man, 27 years of age, and he's going to be around a long time. So big win for Matchroom. Big win for the Matchroom boys tonight.
It's up there.
And next week it's Honey against Waldley. Get up, the Matchroom boys.
Oh yes, we'll come on to that. Right, yeah, it's been a little while.
Well, it's been about a week. I mean,
about a week, is it?
yeah, Johnny Fisher.
Oh yeah.
All right, 9 days. Yeah, 9 days, whatever.
All right, it's been that period of time. You've been all over the gaff, I don't know, traveling here.
Yeah.
Give us something. Give us some news, or I'll throw some things at you that you probably won't.
I mean, you're the interviewer, so I shouldn't just come on here and it's not like a. Go on.
All right, can you give us the details of Anthony Joshua's 2-fight deal with Turkey, please?
So look, it's just when we were at the Canelo Alvarez fight, we had meetings with His Excellency, talked about a 2-fight deal. That first fight will take place, you know, anywhere between October and December. And you know, I saw the names Dillian White and Jared Anderson mentioned. They were 2 names that were discussed in probably 5 or 6 names. And that's if it's not a bigger fight. So if it's not Tyson Fury or if it's not Daniel Dubois or whatever, then obviously we're going to need an opponent. And he's at the operation now. Everything went well. And he's going to just rest up and get back into camp.
Is it more likely that he's not really going to fight until December, realistically?
I mean, December's fine. Like, I think he'd be good to go in October probably, but whenever His Excellency, you know, proposes a date, he'll be ready.
Is his next fight likely possibly in Riyadh or America or?
Yeah, I think Riyadh, you know, again, it depends who it's against. You know, I think there is probably a general feeling that AJ against Fury would take place at Wembley. You know, and I think that's great news. Even though it'd be a huge event in Riyadh. But again, it's not, like, being honest, that's not, no one's been reaching out. You know, I've seen all the stuff to and from on social media. There's no conversation. I mean, have I mentioned it? Me and Spencer and Frank, George, yeah, probably. Like, but no one's talked about a date, a proposal, a deal, and we're not at that stage yet. So we're hopeful that will happen, but it's not at the moment.
What did you think? Obviously, Fury's putting out these small training clips, etc., but did put a video out just to let everyone know that this, you know, there isn't kind of a comeback on the horizon. Are we just ignoring all this, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, it's like every time someone puts something, like AJ put something out, didn't he, saying, one day I'll be stood across the ring from this man, blah, 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 blah. And then Fury comes out and says, just want to let everyone know I'm officially retired. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I was quite enjoying Fury's posts over the weekend. You know, I thought it was good value, and he's having a good time. Listen, good luck to him. Whatever makes you happy. So if that is a return to the ring, we'll be waiting and we'll be ready. If it's not, there's nothing we can do, and we wish him all the best. So I feel like Fury loves boxing. I feel like he's a competitor, and I feel like he knows he's still got a lot left in the tank. It's not like he's declining, but, you know, as we saw with random comment, but like Delicious Ori.
Yeah, a bit
You know,
of once as one that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, there's 2 ways you could look at it. One is it's a quick decision. He had a professional debut that he got a lot of criticism for, and didn't want to do it anymore. You know, you could say, well, whoa. I think AJ posted saying, like, you know, you're a great fighter, take your time, kind of thing. But on the other hand, you could say it was a very honest decision, especially to do it so early. I mean,
have you ever heard of it?
No, completely unknown. Obviously, he signed a big deal with Queensbury. So financially, he could have kept going and made all that money. But you know, if your heart's not in it, your heart's not in it, and you got to respect it. I suppose you got to respect. When I had a meeting with him, I didn't feel that his heart wasn't in it, but you know, he was talking about WWE, he was talking about acting, he was talking about all this, you know, other stuff and education, and yeah, maybe it made me think that how much does he love the sport? The sport is a very tough sport. It's a very dangerous sport, and you've got to be obsessed with the sport. And that's the same with any job. If you want to be the best at it, you've got to be obsessed with it. And you've got to love boxing. And he clearly didn't love boxing. And obviously, I guess if he would have had the debut and knocked the guy Spark out and everyone was ranting and raving about Delicious Ori, would it have been the same? Maybe. But, you know, big respect to him for making the call. And it's not a sport to be in if your heart's not in it, even at that level. And if Fury's heart's not in it, maybe he'll never come back. But I believe his heart is in it.
Is your heart?
And my heart is so deep in the game, I can't even tell you. Like, I'm so in love with the sport of boxing. It's my absolute life. I have the biggest passion for it. Nights like tonight, just you can't buy the experience, the occasion. And, you know, I was talking to Sugar Nunez and his trainer, Edward Montiel, and they were saying that when he first started, he wanted to train with Montiel, and he had to get on a bus every day. And it was 2 hours there and 2 hours back. But he had no money, and he couldn't afford to get the bus every day. So the Montiels had to speak to the bus driver and say, listen, keep it sweet. And then eventually he got a car. But apparently, let's just say the paperwork might not have been 100% legit. And he kept getting pulled over by the police. And the police would phone the Montiels and they'd say, look, he's a young kid, he's training in the gym. Can you let him go? And so when you see someone like that completely change their life through the sport, it's an unbelievable feeling, you know? And he's such a nice, you know, people in boxing generally are such nice people. They're good-hearted people. And, you know, I said to him just in the lift, literally before I came on this Zoom, Sugar, congratulations. Tonight, your life changed forever. And he just went, oh, thank you. And that's the feeling, is being a small part of making a massive difference and changing someone's life. They do it because they have to go in there and fight. But if you can be a small part of that, it's a wonderful feeling.
And that's why your heart is definitely in it, yeah?
No, my heart, I would say that's the main reason. My heart is in it because I want to be able to compete in life. And I wasn't good enough in any sport to be a competitor. So the only other way to compete is in business. This is the most ferocious business you could ever work in. So my heart is in it to compete and win for the company and the legacy of my dad. Money, I suppose. You know, we make a lot of money in other sports, but I wouldn't say not thought about any money we've made this week at all. The whole time I've been here, it's just about trying to see the kid win. So, but I just love the sport. I just love the sport.
Do you think 2025 is the year that you make a comeback as a promoter?
See, I got all serious. You and Colm, you know, I get stick, right? It's like, oh, Eddie's fighters never win. All of a sudden, we come to Japan, spank this geezer, new world champion. No one even meant, like, it's like, you know, but to be honest with you, I'm so mature now. I'm past all those idiotic comments.
Okay, no, that was a bit too much, to be honest with you. Right, Edward, bring it down a bit. Your head's pinging. Right, let's fire a few things. 5v5 in August, not happening. No?
I think it'll be a different kind of format. I mean, we're speaking to His Excellency and the team now, as is George Warren, about possible fights for that card. And I don't think you'll see a 5v5 format, but you will see Matchroom and Queensbury fighters on the card. But it's being worked on, and I'm sure His Excellency will make an announcement soon.
For August, though, or not necessarily?
For August. For August.
Okay, no problem. What can you tell us about Callum Smith and Anthony Yard?
Nothing really. I mean, I think that people are jumping the gun a little bit there, if I'm honest. There's been no recent negotiations for Callum Smith against Anthony Yard. It's a fight that was discussed actually for the 5v5, but I don't think it's a fight you're going to see in Saudi in August. There is much more negotiations going on between Matchroom and PBC for the Callum Smith David Benavidez fight.
Really? So that's more likely.
Yeah, yeah. At the moment, anything can change. But right now, as I talk to you, there hasn't really been any serious conversations about the Yard fight recently. There has been a lot of serious conversations about the David Benavidez fight. So we will have to see what plays out. Obviously, Callum's in a great position. The Yard fight is one I think he'd definitely entertain. You know, some kind of homecoming in Liverpool to defend the interim world title. But Callum wants to try and become a two-division world champion. Doing that against Benavidez is a tough ask, but it's the kind of fight Callum wants to be in. He's not here to just tick over and just, you know, he wants to try and be in the biggest fights possible, challenging for the world title, and that would be a huge fight in the States.
Okay. Dave Allen, have you re-signed him? Did you ever have Dave Allen under a promotional contract?
Good question. Probably, yeah, probably. Like, I think in the past he would have had a fight with another fight attached to it, if that makes sense, like a comeback fight or something like that. Don't know for sure, but in this fight, being completely transparent, this, you know, it's not uncommon for a promotional company to have options on a fighter like this in a fight, because in this situation, you'd look at making the third fight between the two of them. You know, going into that fight, you would give Johnny Fisher kind of like the option to say, look, if you were to lose, we could run it back for the trilogy. Which, by the way, I think is something that will happen, but it won't happen next. So we've now got a couple of fights with Dave, and I expect him to end his career with us, really. Hopefully. You know, Dave's in a really, really fascinating position now. I think, you know, I'd like to see him going headline in Sheffield, if I'm honest. You can jump into a massive fight for as much money as possible. You can have an easier fight on an undercard somewhere. You can have a kind of mid-level fight, still going to be a tough fight, but headlining. So he's in a great spot. And just another one, really. Like Dave, the Dave Allen story is actually really heartwarming, because he really fucked it up and threw it away, if I'm honest. Like he was struggling. I say fucked up is probably a little bit harsh, because he was struggling. And he had a really good opportunity to have a few big fights and kind of get himself financially secure. I thought he was done. Then he came back, obviously had a couple of wins. Then he got the Johnny Fisher fight, made good money there, made even better money in the second fight. Now he'll make even better money in the third and fourth fight as well. So I really look at it and say, I just want him to have those two fights now, and he will be good. Like, he'll have a house paid off, he'll have his ensuite that he's always talking about. But what if we could do something a little bit special? You know, what if we could make a run for it and a charge and rack up a few impressive wins? Because I actually think, I said in an interview with you, I think Dave's a lot better than he thinks he is sometimes. No, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, when he's like, oh, I'm just, you know, I'm what I am, just a big fat geezer and like blah, blah, blah. But I think Dave can fight. And I think those tough nights that Dave's had have probably are what won him the fight against Johnny Fisher, just that experience in mixing at that level. And, you know, he phoned me up. He said, I want the Deontay Wilder fight.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I mean,
yeah, why not? I mean, look, Deontay's got this fight coming up, which is should be a formality. And then, like, you know that Dave Allen against Deontay Wilder would do fantastic business in the UK. Dave Allen, right? When you look at it, let's go through the top 5 names, or 10. Top 10 names in British boxing right now. Go on. I'm talking about, you know, and when we say big, I'm talking about interest, viewership, maybe bums on seats.
What,
But
heavyweights or not necessarily
no,
heavy?
across the board.
All right, so
But you know, but like in terms of your numbers as well, right?
yeah,
So you've got like AJ, Fury, Dubois, Eubank, Connor,
yeah,
right? I think they're like
yeah.
sort of five. And then you've got
Dillian,
that other, sorry?
Dillian White.
Yeah, but I'd put him in the next tranche,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
like, you know, your Dillian Whites, your Callum Smiths, your you know, you've got like Josh Taylor, Jack Cattrall, Lee Wood, Yaf Dalton Smith, Adam Azink, you know, you got all these guys. But you'd put Dave Allen right at the top of that group, wouldn't you? I mean, we saw the numbers from the fight, not just the viewership, and obviously Johnny's responsible for a lot of that as well. But even post stuff, people like the story, don't they? People like listening to Dave Allen. And I think people would turn out to watch him in a big fight, you know? So we shall see.
You ain't got to tell us about Dave Allen. He holds the record views of an IFL clip on YouTube for IFL.
Wasn't that weighing in with socks in his pants?
That is the size of his genitalia, mate.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I don't know where who's brought up socks, but yeah. 15 million views. Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
It cornered quite a few markets in the globe. Yeah.
It was a bit. It was that fight did really good numbers. Really good numbers. When
Ed,
does that?
what for Johnny Fisher then? If they're not going to do a trilogy next, then what do you need does he need a confidence fight just to get
I
him?
think so. Yeah. I mean, look, you got to give him props for taking the rematch in the first place. Like, and I do think it was the right thing to do. Obviously, hindsight's great afterwards. You can say, oh, but you know, he would have got a huge amount of stick if he hadn't gone into that rematch. And you know, we thought that he could beat the likes of Dave Allen. He's not ready. That's okay. And he trained his nuts off. He couldn't have done any more. But now he's got to go back to basics to learn to rebuild a little bit. And I want to see him have 2 8-rounders or an 8-rounder and a 10-rounder. Just, you know, try and get out twice this year.
Yeah.
Been talking to a lot of fighters lately about activity. You know, I think it's so important. You saw Josh Taylor last week. I think he suffered with inactivity as well. I think he's been out of the ring for a year, is it, since the Cattrall fight or whatever it is? It's not easy to stop, start, stop, start. And I think when you don't have these championship belts to defend all the time, I think getting in this activity, even if it means taking smaller purses, like cumulatively, it'll all add up. But I think it can get you back in the groove and improve you and help work on the things that you've been working on in the gym, you know? And that's what I think Johnny needs. I think he needs a couple of good little run outs. And I don't rule out the trilogy at all next year. At all. Yeah, it'll always be a big fight. But, you know, obviously losing for a second time, sorry. And, you know, the first fight could have gone either way. If he loses back to back against Dave Allen, it's tough to come back. But you know, Johnny's put himself financially in a great position as well.
And just a note there on Josh Taylor, obviously suffered a loss to Echo Esserman at the weekend. He's obviously continuing, says he's going to continue to fight. We know Catch was fighting HEARN EUBANK, but does that kind of make that trilogy fight a bit more unrealistic to happen then? Is it losing?
Yeah, I think that fight will always be a big fight. But obviously Josh is coming off a defeat. And Echo's a good fighter. And I know people say he's British level, but he's not really. I mean, he's definitely European level. And I think he's a fringe world-class guy, you know. I think it's a devastating, you know, when you take a fight like that, to be honest, it's a little bit like Cattrall against Eubank. You see, when you're Josh Taylor and you lose to Jack Cattrall in some kind of world title eliminator, you come again and you box at fringe world level. Same with Jack Cattrall. If he loses to Harlem Eubank, who, by the way, I think as well is fringe world level as well, you're really in a difficult spot. So that's the pressure Jack Cattrall's under in that fight. And for Josh, I'm not sure. I felt for him a bit because I think everyone just presumes, oh, you lost to Jack Cattrall, you lost to Echo Esserman. That's 3 defeats on a spin. You got to pack it in now, Josh. And he might be thinking, no, I don't want to pack it in. I actually think I've got. But I always say that those guys now have to fight at a level that they might not have anticipated fighting at, or a level that they might not enjoy as much. But it comes down to what we said earlier about Delicious Aura and that kind of thing. Just your love for the game. If he's fallen out of love for the sport, if he's not motivated anymore, he's got to call it a day. But if the fire still burns, you can't blame him for carrying on. He's a great fighter.
Right, just quickly run through. There was a press in Southampton today for the Bournemouth clash on the 26th.
Yeah.
Belotti and Garner.
Great fight.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like, these, you know, look, ever since Kisser made up, I suppose, with Queensbury, we've been having so many opportunities between each other. I mean, not just the stuff in Riyadh, but, you know, Masood against Liam Davis, now Huni against Wardley next week, now Garner against Belotti. And it's been fantastic for all of us. And obviously now we're on the same platform as well. So it helps us all cross-promote the shows. And Garner against Belotti, brilliant fight. Brilliant fight. You know, British, Commonwealth, European titles, real old school domestic classic.
What can you tell us anything about that potential rematch with Ben and EUBANK for September the 27th, is it?
Just waiting on His Excellency, really. Obviously, he announced that date on the night. We're ready to go. Connor's pretty much ready to go back into camp. So, yeah, we expect that to happen, as His Excellency said, September 27th, and looking forward to another massive event.
So, yeah. But do you think that's the most likely fight for Connor then?
Yes. Well, it's what we're contracted to do. So, I would think so.
Pacquiao and Barrios coming up. We know you're not a fan of it.
Look, I think Manny, you got to respect Manny. You don't. But I don't know how you can be out of the sport for what 5-6 years, and just walk straight back in and go, oh yeah, can you rank me at number 5, please? Yeah, no problem. And then like he hasn't boxed for ages. Even in the exhibitions, he's looked not even half the fighter that he once was. But listen, good luck to him. He's a legend of the sport, and I'd rather see him retired. But you know, I get it. If the fire still burns, as I said, crack on.
Okay, and then next week, yeah, Ipswich.
Yeah,
interesting.
a great fight. That really good fight. You know, obviously Fabio's on a great run. He's at home. Big occasion for him. Big step up for Justice Huni in terms of the night. But he can really fight. It's a really good heavyweight fight, that is. And, you know, you got some great young heavyweights coming. Moses looked great again in Scotland. Huni is a seriously talented young heavyweight. And if he can beat Wardley, he'll put himself in a great position.
Do you know there was that talk of Huni and Italma, wasn't there, beforehand?
Yeah.
Was you confident that Huni would beat Italma?
I really look like everybody in boxing. I really rate Moses. You've just got to. The reality is that I've seen all the stuff, you know, Simon Jordan and Martin Bacoli and all this kind of stuff, and the reality is Moses is yet to fight anyone of any note. Right now, everybody in boxing knows how good he is, so it's not fake hype. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like when no one's questioning how good he is, because he's very good. But his best wins are Dempsey McKean, Marius Wack, and Mike Balogun. By the way, he can
How many
beat.
fights has Moses had?
Don't know. 12?
I mean, look, I'm just asking.
No, but what I'm saying is
I'm saying his first 12 to what Moses' fault.
Yeah, but we never come out and said he's going to win the world title in record time and blah 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 blah. And I think, by the way, I think the matchmaking for Moses has been great. But it's going to. You asked me, does Justice Huni beat Moses Italma? What I'm saying to you is, Moses has never boxed at that level before, and probably nor has Justice, because Moses is brilliant. But you never really know till you're in with a really good heavyweight that can crack and can take you 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds and start to question you a little bit. And at the moment, Moses isn't getting that. 1, because he's outstanding, and 2, because the opposition's not of a world-class nature yet. And if he fights a Bacoli, I do think he'll smash Bacoli. But if it goes 5 or 6 rounds, it might get a little bit interesting. And he's a big lump, Bacoli's. You know, I know he's on a bad run, but he's still a very good fighter. I want to see Moses in those kind of fights. I think he's phenomenal.
I think we need to point out that he's just turned 20 years old as well.
Yeah, but I think Frank had it right. I think they were moving really quick with him with the names they were suggesting. And I think Frank's interview was spot on. He was like, whoa, 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 look, we want to get this right. Because clearly he's got phenomenal talent. But you never really know. You know, I mean, look what happened with Dubois. You know, Dubois looked sensational, and all of a sudden, fought Joe Joyce and, you know, turned it in. And then he was really took a big step back. And now look at him, he's flying. So, you know, Moses is a very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. And I'm really looking forward to him stepping up. And in answer to your question, if Justice Finney beats Fabio Wardley, him and Moses is one of the best fights in the division. 2 really good young heavyweight prospects. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. All right. What time is it there over
in Tokyo? It is what time is it where you are?
Well, in the UK, it's 4 o'clock. In where I am, it's 7.
Midnight then.
Yeah.
Midnight, Wednesday night, Tokyo. Going to be heading back tomorrow. And then we've got a show on Friday in Guadalajara, Gallegos Co. and MJ Madaliev. I won't be there. Frank Smith will be there. And it will take me about 3 days to get home from here. But we shall be on our way tomorrow after a very successful trip and a new world champion for the Matchroom boys.
Eddie Hearn, we will see you in Ipswich next week. Me and my Irish friend here will be terrorising you.
Tell him to put the Factor 90 on as well.
He's looking in good shape. Look at him. Just have a little look at him.
It's so.
Jesus Christ. You're like that kid off the game. Nice one, Chevy. Get up, Chevy.
Eddie Hearn, thank you very much.
All right, boys. Take care. See you soon.
Good.